Aotearoa, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us. We are tracking a typical spring blast at the moment, classic spring, with an air pressure sandwich going on. That's high pressure to the north here, low pressure down to the south, and the filling, that's this big area of windy westerlies blowing right across our country. A classic example of New Zealand being partially in the roaring 40s. The roaring 40s go all the way up to about Whanganui. South of that, you're really stuck in the roaring 40s. That's the windy belt of weather. So that's what we're seeing at the moment. The further north you go, the lighter the winds are because you're closer to this big belt of high air pressure. So let's take a look at the winds as we go through Tuesday evening. So the areas that you see here in the purple, that is getting up to 100, 110, 120, maybe 130 k's an hour on the very tops of the mountains. Otherwise, out at sea, it is severe gale. It's a pretty serious system coming through, and you can see the lower North Island, the ranges there getting clipped. So the tops of the ranges, 130, 140 k gusts possible on the very tops. No one lives there. Don't worry too much, but it's more of an understanding as to what is actually coming in. Lower down around sea level, 80 to 90 k gusts coming in. So that's still pretty serious over the next sort of 12 hours or so. As we go in towards Wednesday, those winds will actually retreat to the south a little further. So it'll still be a little windy in the North Island, but the peak of the winds drops back down more around the South Island. Still heavy rain on the west coast, still snow up in the mountains, and still a chance of severe weather warnings from the government forecasters. So keep an eye on the government warnings coming out of whichever one of the three government forecasters you follow and taxpay. You've got high pressure to the north. The winds are blowing around that, so subtropical weather coming in across the North Island, and that will help to create warmer than average weather again for northern New Zealand. Highs in the early 20s possible. By Thursday, the winds come back up again into the North Island as the centre of that high tracks a little further along. Fairly calm for Northland, fairly calm around Auckland, but you will notice those winds the further south you go. Severe gales around Cook Strait and Wellington, Kaikoura, North Canterbury, the Southern Alps. Any mountain ranges actually in the country have got severe gale risks on Thursday. And behind that, another cold surge coming back in again with wintry changes, wintry temperatures around the deep south later on Thursday. By Friday, that cold front sweeps up into the North Island with a quick burst of rain or showers. There might be a couple of isolated thunderstorms as you transition from the warm nor'westers to the colder south to southwesterlies coming through. Behind it though, plenty of dry spells, just a few showers. Still a little cold though in the deep south. Into the weekend, Saturday sees high pressure rolling in. So after the cold change on Friday, and if the winds are light enough, the skies are clear enough, some frosty weather could come back into the forecast for some of you. So please go to ruralweather.co.nz. Your taxes don't fund it, unlike the other three. This is entirely free for you to access, and it's got more data than all of those government forecasters you tax fund combined. It's insane. And we're in election year and no one's talking about this. So I guess we don't really mind wasting a couple $100 million a year. Anyway, rant aside, high pressure's coming in, and by the time we get to Sunday, the high is properly tracking across New Zealand with light winds. A bit of a southeasterly in the north will make for a couple of showers. If you're frustrated with the three government forecasters, why don't you talk to your local MP? It's the right time of year to do it. That's all from me. We'll see you again tomorrow.